What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins, West Ham Fan TV. Just come back from the London Stadium virtually. It was West Ham 1, Burnley 0. Now, Marshy, we've known each other for many a year now, mate. That's a game we would have at least conceded in before, and we
Well,
didn't. We got the 3 points, and we're looking tidy.
without a question, yeah. I was thinking that before, like watching the game, thinking like obviously last season they done us, and we expected maybe to get a result, and I think we seem to be now, like you said. And I know you said to me before, realistically, what can we do? And these are the games, like you say, that we're clearly turning around the corner now, and we're actually getting that result whereby normally we'd struggle, and the solidarity is there. And listen, it's a great place to be, and it's a shame that we can't actually witness that. And I think a lot of credit needs to go in the name of David Moyes tonight for that.
Absolutely, man. Listen, I was just saying to the last guy that I was talking to, the thing that we've lacked for since we left the bowling really is any sort of identity. Now we're becoming a gritty, horrible team to play against with some real good flair players.
Yeah, we are. We're clearly very tough to break down. I mean, you've only got to look as far as Craig Dawson. One that we know what you get with him as, say, early contender, hammer of the year. He's been phenomenal. But obviously, he's shown that he can build relationships with Balbuena, Diop being kept out of the team. Obviously, Craig Dawson's come in and listen. He's been a revelation. The fact that we were going to potentially get that Tarkovsky for 30 million. I think we've shown today why. We've obviously got a better end of the stick on, that part of the deal. He didn't seem to be that great. Dawson, 4 games, 4 clean sheets, 1 goal, 2 man of the match performances. Scored the goal for us at Stockport, get us through. Listen, it's that refreshing. We're struggling for negatives, to be honest. I think, like you say, long may that continue.
Well, this is what I was saying to one of the guys a little while ago. It was like, you got to put so much sort of emphasis on the signings of Souček and Soufal to seeing why. But when you add him into the mix, we just look. He's that old school sort of defender, isn't he? That no nonsense. And I think that's what we've been lacking since we lost Ginger Pepe.
I totally agree. I think he's, obviously being the replacement for James Collins, obviously, again, heart on the sleeve. And Dawson's been there, done it. And, he hasn't played for the greatest teams in the world. He's not going to set the world alight, but his performances of late. And, let's not get carried away. The fact that he's played at Everton, he's played at Southampton, we get 2 clean sheets, play very good football. And like you say, the grit and the determination we're showing and the want and the will to want to come through for each other. We've clearly got a game plan. We're not sort of lacking them goals, obviously, to then, realise or depend as to whether we've got a plan B or not. We just seem to be playing our game, letting it flow. And I think there's players, obviously, you pick out your sort of main players, if you like, who are putting in the 110, 110% every week. And certain players have been going under the radar. I thought that, I didn't think there was a bad game out there. I thought Ben Rama was very good. I thought he was trying to pick holes in the team. I think he's another confidence player along with Bowen. He had a couple of opportunities. I think when he gets a goal, I think he'll score a few more. I think it's just a bit of confidence he's lacking.
Any concern with the chances we missed today, Marshy? Because it was quite a few.
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, I think we seem to lack that cutting edge. Antonio took the goal well, right place, right time, and that's a gut instinct striker. For someone that isn't that out-and-out striker. We've got someone there, and now that he's back in the fray again, we seem to start wanting to really play and, playing to a strength of a player like him who's willing to sort of put himself about, whereas, maybe Haller wasn't. And you can see the differential between sort of like, we're now picking the points up again and we're gritting, we're tough to beat. And, the players that we've got in there at the moment, the confidence that's instilled there, as I say, Moyes takes great credit for that, as does his backroom staff. And I think that we got, players at the back that the solidarity, the 2 Czech boys, like you say, maybe another one to come in, who knows? And I think that'll be the next interesting point. I think obviously we are a bit sort of paper thin on the ground with the, with the depth in the squad, and maybe players that can come in and change it around. But I think we're playing to a degree and a level at the moment whereby it's tough for players. Look no further than Diop. I mean, he's not a rubbish player, but he's clearly not doing, or he's not the Moyes cup of tea at the moment that we want. And why change a winning system? We needed to change a few bodies around from the cup performance. And now, do you know what as well, Nick? I was saying earlier to the old man watching it, I said these would normally be the sort of games that we don't turn the corner. We're now learning. But Burnley at home, we lost last year. West Brom at home and away, we tend to sort of partially struggle. So Tuesday night would be interesting. I mean, I'm glad that Allardyce got his first win today, to be honest. I did watch that game, and I know they got a few out in isolation, and I know Dean Garner was injured yesterday, I think, in training, he said. So listen, why can't we kick on? You know, the future's bright there. You know, get Moyes tied down to a contract, get everyone playing well, keep them all on the level. Hopefully that we don't have to deal with any negativity, sort of strain and injuries, and maybe even more isolations, if you like. And like you said to me, you know, where realistically can we finish? Should we keep this up?
Well, you talk about the next two games, Marshall. We've got the next two Premier League games are West Brom and Crystal Palace.
And Palace, yeah.
They're two very winnable games. One's at home, one's away. Two very winnable games. You win them two somehow. Like, I mean, consistency isn't the key to West Ham, is it? It never has been. Yeah. I've never seen consistent performances. But if somehow we get the 3 points out of them two games, we're sitting on 35 points going into just about halfway into the season.
Yeah, it's a massive, as I say, we have a pretty good record down at Palace, don't we? So, I mean, if that's anything to go by, and if we can carry that into the performance and sort of have that knowledge about us before we kick that one off, I mean, look, and that's cliche and there's no easy game in the Premier League, but we've got nothing to lose at the moment. I think the spirit that we're going into, just the confidence, I think obviously Declan Rice, obviously with the captaincy as well, listen, that's another big major thing. I think he kicks the team on, all right. You don't necessarily hear a lot of the leadership, but I think just knowing the intent's there and knowing that he's in the middle of that midfield, which is, for me, obviously the most key area in the game. And I think him and Souček they've taken to that. And again, they're another pair that have built up a phenomenal relationship. And I think that helps as well. I think the quicker that you read each other's games, you know, obviously where maybe the weaker links are and you don't get too exposed and whatever. But I think all over the pitch at the moment, I thought Cresswell was superb today as well. I thought he was just, I don't think I see him give a ball away. I know he put through his own goal and obviously that was offside. And Bonner was very clever with that, obviously playing offside and just stepping up. And we're just getting to that point now where we're just, you know, who knows? We are, listen, there's no getting away from the fact we are turning the corner. And West Brom Tuesday now will be this another, I called it the 2 or 3 maybe, even with the inclusion of the Palace League game and maybe getting into the next round of the Cup as well, which is a massive thing for us, you know, to want the Cup run and everyone's going to want a drop of that. But I think if we can, like you say, if we beat West Brom and Palace, 35, 36 points, I think, we're 29 now. We need to just if we keep in touch with the top 10, like, you know, like we were talking about before, if we can stay in touch as long as possible, a few results went our way that, you know, teams would be right up us. You know, Wolves, I think if they'd have won, would have been sort of a point or two behind and sort of, you know, and I think the good thing is as well that Moyes has said it, you know, like we're concentrating on our own game. We're not at the point of the season. And I don't think we will be, Nick, you know, where we're looking over our shoulder, needing other teams to get us results. I think we're actually now on a level where we're pulling away from the shit of the bottom 3 and even the bottom 5 and 6 and the inclusion of the going down. Like, all right, we've had the Christmas time now. All right, the season's a bit all over the place. There's games in quick succession, but it's like we've never been away. It's like when that 11 take to the pitch, we're just playing some phenomenal stuff. And I think it's just, if I had to describe it, I'd say it was refreshing. Like, you know, it's not the West Ham that of the last couple of seasons. It's not even the West Ham of the Moyes first era, like, you know. But now I think he's righting the wrongs of previously, and he seems to be, whatever he's doing, whether it's a chats at half time when we do go in behind, or whether it's obviously just to keep the momentum going and keep the flair players involved and the ones that are going to create for us. You know, we're creating a lot more opportunities, and I think the way that we keep the ball as well is just at this world sort of levels as well. I think some of the spraying passes, the inclusion of all the players and not just the samey players all the time. It's just good to see. And
I'll tell you what, Marshy, the addition of a real good centre forward and taking of our chances. I'll tell you, mate, we could become a top side. If we start taking some of these chances, we could become a top side. And if they're smart, the board, which they're not, but if they're smart, they, as I said on Friday Night Pint, this season's been a bit of an equaliser for everyone. Everyone doesn't seem to be able to pull away from anyone at the moment. And this is an opportunity to strike while the iron's hot and start to sort of catch it. I mean, I'm looking at this table now. We're 1 point behind Tottenham halfway through the season.
Well, they were
3 points behind
the league a month ago, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. This is 3 points behind Manchester City. I know that some teams have got games in hand, but this is such an equal season, Marshy. This is
the best thing, though, Nick, as well. I think go about, you know, as I say, we're West Ham, and in comparison to others, listen, we're not on that level, but all the while that we're in this position and we're going about our business quietly, we're keeping ourselves to ourselves. We're not involving ourselves with anybody else necessarily. All right, obviously there's the transfer embargoes and the Rice thing and what's going to happen there. And, you know, and I think Moyes has even come out tonight and said, look, there hasn't been any bids. We don't want any. We're not interested. We're not going to entertain it. And the way that everyone talks about us at the moment, I think the fact that we're going under the radar is going to push us on even more. Yeah. I think we're in such a positive place at the moment whereby we're so used to being in and around that bottom 3, 5 and 6, you know, and fighting for the life. But at the moment, with the transition, I don't even know what it is. I think it's just someone that's come in with Moyes on a second, you know, opportunity again, and he was given another chance, and, you know, clearly wants to prove himself, and fair play to the bloke who's doing that, and a good backroom staff, and I think a complete unit. Obviously, the supporters are more together when we win. You know, everyone's got their opinions and whatever, and that has to count for something. But, you know, there's no wrong. So we just got to keep, you know, I can't wait for Tuesday already.
Excellent, mate. I'll see you Tuesday then, Marshy.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, mate.
Good night, mate.